March 11, 2011. At 2:46 p.m., a colossal magnitude 9.0 earthquake strikes off the Pacific coast of Japan. At the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant, the violent tremors trigger an immediate safety protocol. Control rods are automatically inserted into the cores of reactors 1, 2, and 3, successfully shutting down the nuclear fission reaction. But the earthquake has completely destroyed the external power grid. The plant is cut off from electricity. Crucial cooling systems swap immediately to the facility's emergency backup diesel generators. The reactors are temporarily stable, but deep in the Pacific Ocean, the massive earthquake has birthed a monstrous wall of water, rushing toward the coast at the speed of a jet airliner. At 3:42 p.m., the first wave hits. A monstrous 46-foot tsunami crests over the horizon, completely overwhelming the plant's 33-foot defensive seawall. The freezing torrent floods the lower basements of the turbine buildings. In a single, catastrophic stroke, the emergency generators and critical backup batteries are completely submerged in seawater. The plant falls completely dark. No power, no backup power, no data screens. Fukushima is in a total station blackout. The cooling pumps have stopped, and 3 highly radioactive nuclear cores are now blindly ticking toward a meltdown. Inside the darkened reactors, the situation is rapidly deteriorating. Without power to circulate fresh cooling water, the stagnant water surrounding the core begins to boil, evaporating into highly pressurized steam inside the pressure vessels. In the main control room, the darkness is absolute. Engineers scramble into the disaster zone outside to scavenge car batteries from the parking lot, wiring them directly into the instrument panels just to read a single dial. When the gauges finally flicker to life, the team's worst fears are confirmed. The water levels in Reactor 1 have dropped catastrophically. The water is gone, completely uncovering the blazing nuclear fuel rods. At temperatures exceeding 2,800 degrees Celsius, the uranium fuel assemblies begin to melt. The molten radioactive sludge drops through the core, slumping directly to the bottom of the steel reactor vessel. Plant manager Masao Yoshida realizes there is only one option left. They must manually vent the highly radioactive steam into the atmosphere before the entire structure explodes. Teams of volunteers step forward, preparing to march into a dark, flooded labyrinth, straight into an invisible wall of radiation. As the exposed fuel rods melt, a violent chemical reaction occurs between the blistering heat and the remaining steam, stripping oxygen molecules and generating massive amounts of highly explosive hydrogen gas. The gas leaks out of the primary containment vessel, pooling silently at the very top of the reactor building. March 12, 3:36 p.m. A stray spark ignites the trapped hydrogen. A catastrophic explosion rips through Unit 1, instantly blowing the concrete roof off and shattering the outer structure. The blast sends an invisible, highly radioactive plume of dust and gas screaming straight into the sky. Radiation levels around the plant skyrocket, forcing emergency workers to temporarily flee the immediate area. But the nightmare is far from over. 2 days later, identical hydrogen buildup causes a second, even more violent explosion. Unit 3 explodes, completely destroying its upper structure and injuring 11 workers. Facing complete global catastrophe, plant manager Yoshida makes a desperate, unprecedented decision. He orders emergency crews to pump corrosive ocean seawater directly into the multi-million-dollar reactors. It is a suicide mission for the machinery, a final, desperate gamble to stop the core temperatures from crossing the point of no return. As radiation levels surge across the prefecture, the Japanese government issues an emergency order that changes hundreds of thousands of lives forever. Over 150,000 residents are forced to pack what they can carry and flee, completely clearing a 20-kilometer radius around the melting plant. While the world flees, a skeleton crew of engineers, soldiers, and firefighters stay behind. Working in shifting teams in pitch darkness and lethal radiation, these men knowingly sacrifice their own long-term health to keep pumping water. The global media calls them the Fukushima 50. It takes months of grueling, agonizingly slow work, but the sacrifice pays off. By December 2011, the raging temperatures are finally stabilized, allowing engineers to officially bring the ruined reactors to a cold shutdown. Today, the Fukushima Daiichi disaster stands alongside Chernobyl as one of only 2 Level 7 nuclear events in history. The total cleanup of the melted fuel cores is estimated to take up to 40 years, cementing it as one of the costliest disasters in human history. The landscape remains frozen in time, a stark, silent monument to the day the Earth shook, the ocean rose, and humanity stared directly into the terrifying power of the atom.